Amazing new child prodigy has been found. He can play the piano flawlessly at age of only 6. Another one. This time it's a math prodigy. Child prodigies are popping all over the news these days, and we think to ourselves, what amazing talent have they been born with? They are so lucky. They are living proof that talent exists. But wait a minute, let's take a step back and look at this from another perspective. In today's video, I'll explain why child prodigies aren't the geniuses they are described to be. And we'll take a look at the most famous child prodigy that has ever lived. We'll deconstruct the genius of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Mozart is regarded as the ultimate example of the talent theory. Composing music at age 5, giving public performances as a pianist and violinist at age 8, going on to produce hundreds of works, some of which are widely regarded as eternally great. Pretty impressive stuff for a boy in short trousers. If that isn't talent, then nothing is. Even those in favor of the idea that excellence emerges over the course of 10,000 hours of practice are stumped when attempting to explain the timeless genius of Mozart. After all, Mozart hadn't even lived for 10,000 hours by the time he was getting to grips with the piano and his early compositions. Surely this is an example of a man who came into the world stamped with the mark of genius. But let's take a look at Mozart's early life in a little more detail. Mozart's father was Leopold Mozart, a famous composer and performer. He was also a strict parent who started his son on a program of intensive training in composition and performing at age of 3. Leopold was more than qualified for his role as little Wolfgang's teacher. His book on violin instruction, published the same year Wolfgang was born, remained influential for decades. So from the earliest age, Wolfgang was receiving heavy instruction from an expert teacher who lived with him. It's estimated that Wolfgang had clocked up 3,500 hours of practice even before his 6th birthday. However, it has to be noted that Wolfgang only wrote his first masterpiece at age of 21. None of his work before that is considered to be great music. 21 is certainly an early age for a masterpiece, but we must remember that by then Wolfgang had been through 18 years of extremely hard expert training. Seen in this context, Mozart's achievements suddenly seem rather different. He no longer looks like a musician with special powers that enabled him to skip practice. These facts obviously don't affect our regard for Mozart's music, but they drain a lot of magic out of how it was created, and some people don't like that. Child prodigies amaze us because we compare them to children of the same age who have not dedicated their lives in the same way. Instead, we should compare them to other performers who have practiced for the same length. If we compare the 6-year-old Mozart with musicians who had clocked up 3,500 hours of practice, rather than children of the same age, he won't seem exceptional at all. What does this tell us? It tells us that you have to put in the hard work regardless of your genes. There is no shortcut, even if prodigies make us think there is. To summarize, child prodigies do not have unusual genes. They have unusual upbringings. They have composed thousands of hours of practice into the small period between birth and adolescence. This is why they have become world class. What's your opinion about child prodigies? Let me know in the comments below. Together we'll become better than yesterday.